I would actually, in fact, argue you don't have the expertise to secure your systems at your plants or at your companies. Whenever there is a actually new virus or something going around, in fact, in the US, all the suppliers, all automation companies, in fact, they all depend on US government to come up with this solution. Because it's so complex. These things, you don't know when something is going to come. Somebody is going to try to attack, or somebody is going to try to steal your information. So data center, in my view, can give you more security than your own systems. Availability, same thing. You want experts to worry about the availability of the systems. They can give you better availability than your own systems. Performance, the same thing. Cloud, this is another thing. Cloud, the way cloud system, the architecture works, they need more horsepower. They can simply just turn some more servers. It's just like the power plant. That you need more power, they can turn on another turbine or another power plant. Same kind of thing. Interoperability. Obviously, there are a lot of different solutions available. In my view, you want to talk to the next companies. When you go back, you want to start an initiative. You want to work with a partner. Ask them to set up a small cloud for you. Give them some data. That's not important to you. Because right now, we think, the time is now for you to start educating your people, start actually setting up a test bed, start testing these technologies so that you can get on with these technologies as quickly as possible. And certainly, the same thing. Yes, if you want to move, you don't like the supplier. Right now, again, suppliers are building business. There are more big companies out there who are offering cloud solutions and so forth. And obviously, many, in my view, you have an advantage. This is why we say you can actually leapfrog. You have a huge IT industry here. You have a lot of industry, actually, companies who can help you. In my view, we are also recommending all the IT companies here, start offering these solutions to their customers here and abroad, so that you can actually start simplifying your systems and start leveraging the latest technology to help you compete. Now, certainly cloud and ARC view, we think, slowly leaving aside the basic critical functions in the plant and so forth, you should start moving all applications to the cloud, including, obviously, not only just historical data and MES, your asset management solutions, your optimization solutions, and a lot of other applications you may have in your plants. The second technology, in my view, is just as powerful as the cloud itself, and that's the analytics. Again, many of you are already using these technologies because many of you have plant optimization, APC, and optimization applications in your plants. The difference is today's analytics are so powerful. In my view, they will boggle your mind. In fact, you have to really see this technology, how powerful analytics of today are. In fact, when IBM talks about smart planet, they are talking about applying analytics to analyze the millions and millions, huge amounts of data. You have a lot of data. You need to start leveraging this data. You need to start using the tools to see what you can do. For example, most of you, in fact, today, you need another report. You want to look at the data in a different way. You have to ask some IT person or engineering department person to, write that report for you or maybe configure that report for you. Whereas analytics tools are so powerful. In fact, as a manager, we think you can start looking at the data yourself. All the dashboards. You want to look at the plant data in a different way? You can do it by yourself. In fact, somebody said all you have to do is push a button. In fact, we had JP Singh over there. He said on the table, you don't even have to push the button. In fact, analytics today are so powerful, they will automatically, in fact, analyze the data and keep on feeding you information in new ways. This technology is another technology that can help you leapfrog. Obviously, there's lots of different types of data. You have the new projects. In fact, we are recommending that when you have a new project, you should, in fact, from the very beginning, start building a virtual model for that product. Whenever you are buying a product, whether it's a pressure transmitter or a flow meter or any other piece of equipment, we are recommending that you should ask the supplier digital model of that product. And this is, in fact, by the way, if you wanted to have all information in digital format 5 years ago, it was a problem. It would have been very difficult. But today with the cloud, you can build, you can have the digital model, virtual model of your new project, of your new plant. You can have all the information in a digital format. And that's accessible to anybody, any of engineers around the world. Just think the power. And that's how in the future, you will be continuously improving your plant if you have that digital model of your plant. Right now, obviously, most companies don't even know what they have because they don't keep all the drawings and everything up to date. They get obsolete. So when they want to start an upgrade, they have to, in many cases, start from scratch, figure out what was changed over the years. Now, you have to just think, if you have that digital model of the plant, how much power that will give you. You can continuously make improvement to your plant. And that's the way it is. You have to continuously improve your processes and so forth. The same way asset management. You have lots of data. The problem today is the data is buried in every application. We need to get that data out. We need to separate the data from applications so that we can analyze it better. We can analyze, we can see the relationships with the data, with the rest of the data. What's going on, and one part of the plant may be impacting, performance in the other part of the plant. So we need to start looking at the data and analyzing it more as we go forward. And analytics tools are there for you to help, looking how you can improve the performance of your plant. The next, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just you want to communicate with other people. In our view, as I mentioned to you, the thermostat in our homes, in fact, this company connects the thermostat to the internet. Going forward, we just moved from IP4 to IP6. Part of the reason is, in fact, there are more devices connected to the internet today than people. And it's going to be actually more so that way as we go forward. In my view, the big change over the next decade is going to be connecting more and more devices to the internet. And devices automatically, there will be actually intelligence in them that they will, in fact, keep themselves. They will tell you, when they are actually going to fail. In fact, the big thing is a lot of times, it's a predictive type of you're trying to predict when the problems are going to happen, So analytics can help you predict when the problems are going to happen. Rather than detecting problems, you want to start predicting. You don't want the problem to happen at all. I think as I mentioned earlier, you know, in a way, you have a Facebook page or LinkedIn page. You know, a lot of times we will have all these devices will have their own information, own page, where you can actually find all the information related to that device. Not only the specifications, not only the operating instructions. Also, you can find actually accumulate information how that product is behaving over time. So now you want to display all of that information, you know, a lot of that information on your mobile devices. You know, you read the papers, you know, I mean, iPads are going to probably take over, or iPhones are going to take over, you know, a lot of PCs and so forth. That means most people are carrying, you know, your managers and engineers, you want to see the information on your cell phone. Now, not just if you do dashboards and few information, you know, KPIs, more and more information. You know, to do that, you don't want to simply, you know, add this kind of code to each of the applications. You want to have a sound platform that can help you manage all of these devices. So we think having a good mobile platform for all companies will be very important. And these platforms are available out there. So we talked about now all these new technologies. As you start to deploy some of these technologies, they are going to totally change your processes, how you do things. You will come up with a much simpler way of doing things once you start deploying these things. And not only that, in fact, right now, all of these technologies are converging. And let's think about it a minute. You know, you take your historical data from all of your plants and move it to the cloud. On top of that, you put an analytics solution. You can analyze all of that information, you know, in lots of different ways. And then you have a mobile platform and display the information on mobile devices for your employees around the world. And then you also have a collaboration platform that you can use to communicate with your colleagues and friends and, you know, workers. You can truly collaborate among your peers at your company. You know, think about a solution, how you are operating your plants today. And you have this data center where you have enormous intelligence. First of all, you know, hopefully you're working with a good partner who is managing the cloud for you. In other words, you don't have to worry about getting all of this, keeping all of this actually operational. You're simply using it. Just like your cell phone. You use it. Let your partners worry about keeping this, you know, going. And partners today, you know, for companies, by the way, look at the biggest companies around the world today, that's what they're doing. And the companies who are in this cloud computing infrastructure, you know, big companies, Google, Microsoft, you know, take a look at Amazon, IBM, SAP, Oracle. I'm hoping more automation companies will start to offer you these solutions soon as well. So, I mean, technology today is way too complex for you to worry about. And again, as I mentioned, I think you are in a great position here. You have so many good IT companies. You have partners, you know, you talk to them next door, you know, have them, when you go back, you should have an initiative started right away. Work with these companies. It won't cost you much money at all. You can have them set up a demo, have them set up a beta system for you in the cloud with an analytics package on top of it and see what you can do. Now, I tell you, I'm talking about actually a lot of our own experience. ARC, we've been using collaboration platform, for 5-6 years. Our team here, in fact, India, has access to everything everybody else has. Every piece of information we have, they can see on the portal. We moved to the cloud several years ago. And I tell you, that's probably one of my best decisions, because I don't have to worry about when that server goes down, who has to bring that back up. Same thing, we have a mobile access. We have implemented mobile solutions. And we are now, I tell you, analytics. Of all of these technologies, analytics is totally changing ARC business. We are offering new products. We've been a service company. We've been offering new products which are actually in the cloud to our clients around the world. So I think a lot of these technologies are there. And I think if you don't jump on them, in my view, you are falling behind the competition. And on the other hand, I think you can take a look at the opportunity. I think you have enormous opportunity. You don't have a lot of baggage. You don't have a lot of complex systems in your plants. Start working with the partners, and you have actually great partners to work with. So I think every company in India has an opportunity to leapfrog over the next few years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andy, for giving this excellent presentation. Now I would like to call upon our next speaker, Mr. Pankit Desai, President of Rolta, to give a keynote presentation on empowering organizations to achieve operational excellence. Mr. Pankit Desai, President of Rolta Enterprise IT Solutions, have vast leadership experience and rich cross-functional experience in global delivery, practice management, sales and business development, worked in senior positions at renowned companies like NTT Data, Wipro, Cognizant, IBM, and CMC. Now I would like to call upon Sir to give the presentation.
Can you hear me at the back? Good morning, everyone. Andy, thanks for stealing my thunder, because most of my slides were based on what you're going to present. So I guess I can wind up very quickly. So I'm with Rolta. I've joined Rolta recently. I'm not sure how many of you have interacted or got a chance to work along with Rolta in the past. But we've been in the business for the past 25 plus years. And Rolta is known for its innovation, for its IP-led thinking in the market space. So we aren't a traditional IT services firm. We believe that the thought leadership that you demonstrate either in the domain or in the horizontal services gives you an edge and gives our customer a reason why they should work with us. And the strength for the company is primarily in the engineering services, design, GIS, homeland security, defense, traditional IT services, business intelligence, analytics. That's an area of focus for the company. And again, for a very select few industries. So you will not find us in generic industries like retail or consumer products. We are very good in process, pharma, petrochemical value chain, engineering process, EPC companies, utilities. So few industries, a few set of services, and again, leading from the front through innovations, either by building IP or buying out IP. So that's our claim to fame. A lot of speakers before me spoke about what it means to be in this industry today and how the changing parameters that's happening around us, the whole issue around the downturn, the whole issue around having assets that are being with us for a very long time. Typical industry, you run your assets for 20, 30, 40 years. How how do you ensure that your assets that you have invested in significant capex that has gone in, gives you the return that your investors are hoping for in a sustainable way? As Mr. Anand was saying, that the whole emphasis in the industry today is around not only taking the cost out and being the most optimum, but sustainable growth, sustainable development, having the best health and safety record that you can find. So significant investment and technologies are going into place to help you be in that market space. So again, I'm not going to repeat the definition of operational excellence. You are an expert in that space. You understand better than me. I'm an IT guy after all. But OE is an area of focus for all of us sitting out here. Mr. Ganpati Raman spoke about the tough economic climate that we are in, and the world isn't what it used to be, Gaga world was in 2006, 2007. Post that, in the last 5 years, if you look at it, we've been hit by two blows. 08, 09 was a recession, the worst that we have known of. We barely come out of it, and then you got hit with the euro crisis and the currency devaluation and the global slowdown. So while it is still not a technical recession, in my mind, it is one and the same. The impact of that for us as an industry player is that you have significant capacity in the manufacturing space that is out there unutilized. That is a good friendly neighbor of ours, China, who's gone out and built significant capacity in the manufacturing space. Both of these are a significant threat to us from India. If you look at it, India till early 90s had missed the manufacturing wave. We did not invest significantly in the manufacturing space, building out large capacities. A combination of geopolitical situation, combination of our socio-economic structures, the liberalization of economy, a lot of things that went into it. But it's the last 20 years is what we have seen a wave of significant investments by Indian companies in building out large assets. But just when these assets are coming on stream, we are hit with this downturn. And the downside of that is that you will have your competition knocking at your doors, better, faster, cheaper, right? So being operational excellent is just not a best industry practice. In my mind, it's also an issue of survival. How do you compete with the best of the best in a scenario that is going to be thrust upon you with the economic situation that is setting out there? So let's look at what can technology do and how can technology help as we go along in this journey of our operational excellence. In my mind, every industry is a combination of, as Andy rightly put it, people, process, and technology. He had the word things out there, and I'm combining systems, information, technology, or things into one bucket called technology. And you are as good as your people, process, and technology. So you might have a rated plant capacity of X, but you will never be able to generate a capacity of X unless the other three aspects, or other two aspects, the people and the process, that are part and parcel of that, can deliver to the utmost. So in a utopian world, if you, let's say, were to be able to deliver 100% capacity or capability, there will be losses, both tangible and intangible, that impact you in your business, right? And some of the tangible ones could be plant shutdowns, unplanned shutdowns, your efficiency losses. The intangible ones are where we could focus on a lot during the session. And one of the things that Andy spoke about was analytics. The reason why analytics is so important in this day and age is because we as a business generate huge amount of information. But the information is generated in silos to be consumed by silos for the silos. There isn't a view, there isn't an opportunity for the silos to really understand what's happening next door. So, and as I say, we live a dual life today. We live a life where you walk out of your office, you go home, and you are in a completely connected world. And when you come back to the office, and you are in a complete siloed world. You are either a purchasing department, a finance department, or the operations department, or you are a manager, you are a clerk, you are an operator, you are an executive manager, you are a CEO. So you have the titles. You have the titles, and you have the roles, and you have divisions. Completely structured in a way where decision-making will always flow in one direction only. And in the social collaborative world, the information has to flow across boundaries, right? The challenge that we have is because of the way we are structured, the way we operate, there is a significant decision-making that happens today without the right amount of information being delivered at the right amount of time. A recent study done, actually a few years back, a study done by Boston College, they did an analysis of how decisions are made and what information is sought and absorbed while making a decision. A very interesting aspect is that more than 50% of the information is not even known while making a decision. So just look at it, sitting at a senior management position, a CEO is taking a call on what to invest in, where to go, whether to refurbish a plant, whether to buy out a new plant, go and acquire a new company. A lot of decisions are being made on partial information, right? So if there is a way that we can find to bridge this gap, I'm sure we all as a team will have a collectively better experience, an enriching experience, and a more rewarding results for our shareholders. So in the utopian world, what we would like to see? We would like to see the right information from the right source at the right time to be given to the right set of people to make the decisions. If you could find a way where you can get all this information that's coming across various sources, various silos at the right time, which I mean the real time, not after a month is over, or after a week is over, and the state has passed where you can do nothing about, you can avoid a lot of challenges that we all face collectively in the industry, which could be helping you detect your risk earlier, which could help you drive a performance-based culture instead of a matrix-based culture, right? Because I always believe that you can meet all the parameters of an SLA, but still have a result which is not aligning to the company objective, because all silos might meet their targets, but as a company we fail. So as I say, right, all the results on the doctors are good, but the patient is dead, right? So that's what we don't want to happen. I wanted to empathize with the problem that we all are facing in, right? So the reason why we are where we are today primarily is because of the way we are structured. I just spoke about it earlier, that we operate in silos. And for the process industry, it is even worse, because the silos are far, far more domain-centric than some of the other industries. So the operations person or the assets person in a petrochemical industry needs or expected to have very deep domain knowledge. And the challenge with going deep is that you will never have the breadth. For you to be able to appreciate and empathize someone else's function, you will need to step back. And the demand of the industry is that you step in and you keep going deep inside to be able to deliver the function the way you are supposed to deliver in the best shape and form. So that's a challenge that we have at hand. And these are only some of the departments. You could find even more. Some companies have a larger geographical spread, larger or different types of business units in the same organization. So a lot of other challenges that become part and parcel of how you operate as a business. Each of these units, as I said, generates a fair amount of information. As Andy was mentioning, you have huge amount of information that gets generated and consumed in the silos. What is missing is the ability for the rest of the functions to really understand, appreciate that information. So if there was a way in a utopian world, if there's a way that you could collect that information somehow, through connectors, there are various industry connectors available. Somehow, let's say you were able to access that information, pull that information out. Where would you store it? You need some place to dump that information. So let's say you find a model or data warehouse where you can go and dump it. And there are industry standard data warehouses or data models available, ISA 95, Mimosa, you could pick any of them. So let's say you somehow find a way to populate that data model with the information that is coming out from the field. You will need a way, after collecting, to collate, relate that piece of information. So the information that is coming out from a historian has to somehow get attached to an asset lifecycle system, has to somehow get attached to an SAP system or an Oracle system that is sitting out there, or an engineering system that is generating your design documents, or where you're storing your design documents, or your geospatial information where you might have geographical information around how your plants are spread out, how your pipes are spread out. So there's so many sources of information regarding to one specific aspect of your plant, right? So it could be your pump, it could be your pipes, it could be your hydrocracker, whatever. Whatever set of equipment that you have invested in, you have huge amount of correlated information sitting out in various systems. That information is owned by various departments, and they are operating and taking decisions on that asset based on what they know or what they think about is the right thing for that asset. So let's say if you were able to pick this information out, you go to the industry standard data model, you somehow find a way to, as I said, collect, collate, and relate that information. If you could build a set of rules, set of KPIs, set of engines, set of calculation engines on top of it to make sense of the data. Because yeah, you get all this information, but beyond the folks who are intimately associated with that specific information, the others will not be able to make sense. So how do you find a way to connect all these dots that sit across the organization And you can build several such analytical engines on top of it. Once you have built it, then the challenge comes is how do you consume that information, right? And that's where what Andy was saying comes in handy. The world has changed. No longer are people